welcome to this creative video workshop on character, story and animation. In this video we're going to start to set the scene. We're going to get to know our character we've created a little bit better, and we're going to put them in a location. This is going to help us write and create our story in later videos and our animation from video 5 onwards. For this one, you're definitely going to need a pen or a pencil and some paper. And if you have it, some coloured paper, coloured card and some scissors would be great too. Have fun. So we need to create some scenes for our character. A scene is a place where our character is, where something happens to them. It could be anywhere. It could be a jungle, a forest, the ocean, literally anywhere. Now, to choose my scenes, we're going to have to answer a couple more questions about our character to get a bit more detail out of them, so we can really start to know them. I've got some reminders here of my character. His name is George. He loves singing and he hates getting the notes wrong. But we're going to have these two new questions to answer. Number 1. What is your character's dream or ambition? Now this question is sort of linked to what your character loves, but it's a little bit more epic and a little bit more detailed. It's about really who they are and what they want. They love singing, but what do they really dream? What do they really want out of it? Well, George Peanut dreams of being a professional singer and singing for crowds. The other question we're going to have to answer is, what is your character afraid of, or what does your character fear? This is again kind of linked to what your character hates, but it's a little bit more detailed, a little bit more personal to who your character is. What does George Peanut fear? George Peanut is afraid he will never be a good enough singer. So these are a little bit more detailed than our normal loves and hates. And these are going to be the things from which we will create our scene. Okay, so just as a recap of where we are so far with George Peanut. His name is George Peanut. He loves singing. He hates horrible noises. He dreams of being a professional singer, but he's afraid he'll never be good enough. So the first scene I'm going to create is George living out his dream of being a professional singer. I've already made my scene. Here is George on the stage, curtains drawn, speakers playing the music behind him, and the crowd absolutely loving it. Now what I've done is I've drawn the scene or the background on a separate piece of card and cut out my character George so I can put it on top. This is a good way of doing it because I want to use this scene or this background when we get round to making an animation in a later video. So all I've done is make a separate George, cut him out and popped him there. I've used my facial expression and my pose from the previous video. But we've also got to have a scene for George living out his nightmare, the thing he's afraid of the most. Now, the place for this scene is the same for me. Doesn't have to be for you. You can have two different backgrounds. But because George is terrified of not being a good enough singer, that's where he's going to be, on the stage, not being good enough. I've got a new facial expression and posture of George looking terrified. If you need to come up with some more ideas for your character living out these scenes, you can go back to strike a pose and the first video creating your face for your character. Now, in this scene, the crowd are not happy with George. He's too scared and he's no good at all. His worst nightmare. So those are my two scenes for what my character's ambition and dreams are and what they fear, what they're scared of. You need to have one for each, Or like me, maybe the location for your character's fear in Nightmare is the same. Good luck.